It was a cold, foggy evening in London, and the Grand Royal Opera House was packed with people. The air was filled with excitement as the audience waited for the famous soprano, Madame Isabella, to perform. Detective Arthur Collins, a tall man with sharp eyes and a keen mind, sat in the front row. He wasn't there for the music. He had been called by the opera house manager, Mr. Grayson, who feared something unusual might happen that night. As the curtains rose, Madame Isabella stepped onto the stage, her voice enchanting everyone. But halfway through her performance, something went terribly wrong. She suddenly stopped singing, clutched her throat, and collapsed. The audience gasped in horror as the lights dimmed and chaos erupted. Detective Collins rushed backstage, where he found Madame Isabella lying on the floor, lifeless. Her face was pale, and her lips had turned blue. The opera house doctor confirmed it was poison. Collins immediately took charge, ordering everyone to stay back and not touch anything. The suspects were quickly identified. Mr. Grayson, the opera house manager, who seemed overly nervous and had argued with Madame Isabella earlier about her contract. Victor Moreau, the lead tenor, who was jealous of Madame Isabella's fame and had been heard threatening her. Clara, Madame Isabella's young assistant, who had access to her dressing room and seemed to know more than she let on. Lord Harrington, a wealthy patron of the arts, who had been seen arguing with Madame Isabella about her refusal to perform at his private party. Collins began his investigation by examining Madame Isabella's dressing room. He found a half-empty glass of wine on her table. The doctor confirmed it was laced with a rare poison that caused instant death. Collins also discovered a torn piece of paper in the wastebasket with the words, "Tonight, you pay for your betrayal." Next, he questioned Mr. Grayson, who admitted he had argued with Madame Isabella, but claimed it was only about money. "She wanted more pay, but we couldn't afford it," he said, wiping sweat from his forehead. Victor Moreau, the tenor, was defensive when questioned. "Yes, I was jealous of her, but I would never kill her. She was a brilliant artist," he said, though his hands trembled as he spoke. Claire, the assistant, was visibly shaken. "I loved Madame Isabella, like a mother," she said, tears streaming down her face. "I would never harm her." But Collins noticed a small vial hidden in her pocket. When he asked about it, she claimed it was just perfume. Lord Harrington was calm and composed. "I had a disagreement with her, but it was trivial. I have no reason to kill her," he said, though his cold eyes made Collins suspicious. As Collins pieced together the clues, he realized the torn note in the wastebasket was written in the same ink as a pen he found in Lord Harrington's coat pocket. He also discovered that Claire's vial contained the same poison used in the wine. Confronting the suspects, Collins revealed the truth. "Lord Harrington, you wrote the threatening note. You were angry because Madame Isabella refused to perform at your party, which would have embarrassed you in front of your guests. You poisoned her wine to silence her forever." Lord Harrington's face turned red with anger. "You can't prove anything," he shouted. But Collins had one more piece of evidence. He showed a letter from Lord Harrington's butler, who had seen him purchase the poison earlier that day. As the police led Lord Harrington away, the opera house fell silent. Madame Isabella's death was a tragedy, but justice had been served. Detective Collins left the opera house, his mind already on the next mystery waiting to be solved. The fog outside seemed thicker than ever, but Collins knew one thing for certain. In the world of classic detective mysteries, the truth always comes to light.